Hey, this is Brad Johnson, quarterback in the NFL for 17 years, Super Bowl champion with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So grateful to be a part of this podcast. I only touch greatness.
The number one sports podcast in Vancouver with Ryan Hayes and Big Mike.
Ryan Hayes and Big Mike. Never stop. I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Ryan Hayes and Big Mike are taking over the podcast scene in Vancouver.
Everyone knows a good podcast. It's Vancouver's Ryan Hayes and Big Mike.
Brad Johnson fires, touchdown, wide open, Jacquez Green in motion. And the pass up the middle, touchdown, Dave Moore. And 10 sacks as a team. Johnson trying to get the Bucs going to Frank Murphy. It was under a minute. First series they punted, but the next 7 they would score. Even against the blitz, he dumps it off to Aaron Stecker, who stacks it for 35 yards and a touchdown. 20
from the 5. Second down goal. Brad Johnson trying to close a pass. Caught! Touchdown! What'd I tell you, Scott?
But that's at least the son of Brad Johnson was waiting too long. Third down. Touchdown. Dave Moore. And he's way too long then. And I see you there. I tell you, Brad Johnson didn't wait too long. He didn't. I mean, he came back and that back foot is going to plant, and he's going to see Dave Moore is right there. Watch the boom. He gives a little fight and then pops it right in there. That was in that window. That was a perfect throw. You see that little move, just kind of a little out and in or stop and go or whatever. He could step up, he could look, he could see, he had a lane to throw, and he could step up and throw it. Blitz showing. But they grab him. Here comes the blitz. Outside to Alstott. Nobody with him. Alstott out of bounds, inside the 5.
You have to do them in a row without editing, Graham, and those kind of things, and just put it out there. Honestly, Kevin, I get exercise from it, and hopefully everyone is something different.
How long does it actually take to master these amazing shots? It's a newfound fame for Brad, who's now getting noticed more for his videos than his professional football career.
I was at the convenience store, and some guy was,
They call you TikTok man, right? Even his former teammates have become fans.
They want my hats, the whole team wants hats. Everybody's checking out what is he going to do today.
So tune in to Big Bad Brad 14 to see what trick shots are coming next. Kevin.
All right. So Brad, born and raised in Georgia, I believe, if my stats are correct. Can you tell us a little about your childhood and what sports you played, and did you only excel at football?
Yeah, I actually was born in Marietta, Georgia, but I grew up in Black Mountain, North Carolina, near Asheville, Western Carolina. So I grew up, my dad ran summer camps called Camp Ridgecrest and Crest Ridge. And camps were full of basketball and archery and horseback and 2-square, 4-square. And I grew up with a ball in my hands, competing, playing dodgeball, anything, play sports. So I grew up in that. And my dad coached me in all my youth teams of football, baseball, and basketball, and just loved sports. My mom was a PE teacher, then later became an assistant principal. But I grew up playing sports all over the place.
Who really inspired you to get into the game?
I think both my parents. They love playing tennis and golf, and obviously my dad ran the summer camp, so I always had somebody to play with. I always had somebody to compete with, and usually those people were bigger than me, or someone took me under the wing, one of those kind of things. So I think just watching my parents and my dad, he coached high school sports and coached teams and those kind of things, and so I think they not just sports, but I think they instilled the what it was to work at something, to start something, to finish something, to be a part of something, and how good can you be at it. So I think, as my dad would say, if you're shooting, how many free throws you'll make out of 10? Well, maybe I can make 8. Well, why not make 10? Well, why you shoot just 10? Well, let's see how many you can make out of 100. and then, well, let's do the 100 after you've run. Go run 2 miles and see how you do then. So there was always a challenge, always a goal, those kind of things.
Okay. And kind of coming up the ranks, who would you say you kind of looked up to in the football field wise?
Yeah, I think, it's really weird. I wear the number 14. And basketball is my favorite sport, and this is what I wanted to play in college and pros. I actually played 2 years of college basketball at Florida State, but I really wanted to choose basketball, but I thought I had more potential in football. And so the guy at that time in high school that everyone was they were grooming or hoping I could be like would be the guy that was prototypical 6'5", 225-foot quarterback was a guy named Vinny Testaverde, who won the Heisman at University of Miami, ended up having an over 20-year career. So, and I've told Vinny multiple times that I wore number 14 because of him, and really kind of inspired me to kind of keep my dream of playing football alive.
And what are you doing right now with your time, or what are some short-term goals that you're working on right now?
Yeah, I live in Athens, Georgia, and my wife and I, we've been married for 23 years now, and we have 2 boys, Max and Jake, and both of them now are Max. He's the older one. He's playing quarterback at Texas A&M, and Jake, he just enrolled as a freshman, and so they're rooming together, playing together. So I've coached all their youth teams, middle school teams, high school teams, and those kind of things. So we just got through a 3-year run of like 35-5. Went to 2 state championships, got beat in the finals in both of those years, but had a great run. I spent a lot of my time helping younger quarterbacks now, just how good can they be, whether it's a middle school starter or maybe a JV player or a kid trying to get a all conference or all state or trying to get a scholarship. So I spent a lot of time with a lot of different quarterbacks in the area.
Okay. And obviously after your Florida State for university for yourself, you headed into the NFL draft. Bring us back to that day when you were drafted 227th overall.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. At Florida State, I really didn't play very much. I only started 6 games my junior year, started 1 game my senior year. I was playing behind my best friend, who was Casey Weldon at the time, and he was runner up to the Heisman. So the chance of me getting drafted were pretty slim. I did go to the combine and thought I had a great combine and those kind of things, but you just don't know who's watching you, who's evaluating you. And I thought the New York Giants were going to draft me. And about the 4th or 5th round, they said they're looking for a guy that they could play behind, they could groom behind Jeff Hostetler and Phil Simms. And so I thought that was my spot. And the Giants actually ended up drafting Kent Graham out of Ohio State. And later that summer, they drafted a guy named Dave Brown in the supplemental draft. So after that, I didn't think I'd get chosen, to be honest with you. A friend of mine for Atlanta Falcons at that time named Dave Kempo. And he said, Brad, if no one brings you in, that was 12 rounds. No one brings you in, we'd like to bring you as a free agent. And I said, no, I think I'm going to go back to North Carolina and be a school teacher. And I didn't know how the free agency period worked at that time. But in the 9th round, 227th pick, I was the 14th quarterback picked of that draft to the Minnesota Vikings. The guy that drafted me was a guy named Jack Burns, who actually recruited me in high school from the University of Louisville. So I tell people, never burn your bridges. You never know who's watching or evaluating.
It worked out for you. I mean, you had a short little stint there with Minnesota, backing up Gannon, Moon, Cunningham. I guess it was hard to get on the field with those guys there.
My first 3 years, I was behind Rich Gannon. Later became MVP of the league, and we actually played against each other in the Super Bowl. Then the next year was the quarterback Jim McMahon, who won a Super Bowl with Chicago Bears. And then Warren Moon came in. I was behind him for 2 or 3 years. Then finally got my chance to play. And so really, I tell people a lot of times it's harder to get that opportunity to play than it is to be more successful when you do get that chance to play. So what I'm telling you, it's just hard to get in there, whether you almost have to be a high draft pick, a 1st or 2nd round pick, or you need that starter to not play well or get hurt. And so for me, that's kind of what happened with Warren Moon. He got hurt, and I got my chance to play. I was ready. I was in a contract year. Then I kind of ran off with it. So you have to have a lot of things go your way just to get that opportunity to be the guy.
And then I know you headed over to Europe to play in that World League. What was that like?
It was cool for me because, I told you I didn't get to play very much at Florida State, and things just didn't work out well for me there. But and then my first 3 or 4 years in the pros, I was just backing up. I didn't get many snaps in the game, not alone practice. So the league, went extinct, like I think in 1989. It came back in 1995, I believe it was. And it's just a chance for me to go be a starter, a chance to go make plays, make mistakes, be the leader of the team, and play a 10-game schedule in the spring. So I loved it. We played against Amsterdam, Barcelona, Frankfurt, Dusseldorf, and Scotland. So 6 teams were over there. It was just a great chance to play.
Oh. Mike, shoot another one.
Yeah, sure.
All the good ones.
Yeah. And then can you bring us back to your first NFL touchdown? And do you still have the ball?
Yeah, my very first touchdown pass was pretty cool. I got to take you back to the week before, honestly, because it was last preseason game in Minnesota, the 4th preseason game. And I went 20 for 25 for 225 yards and threw 4 interceptions. And they were all in the red zone. We lost 10-9. I thought, and my dad ended up being a stuck. He just kind of surprised me. The game was down in New Orleans. He surprised me. And I thought the Vikings were going to cut me after that game. But the very next week, the first game of the season, Warren Moon he was the starter. He got hurt. And when he got hurt, you could hear a pin drop when I came in the game. Because they thought, there's no way I should even be on the team. And but the way it worked out, came in the game, had to come from behind win in the 4th quarter through a touchdown pass. Our very first touchdown pass was to Chris Carter. The play was called change right, base right, 086 F flat. I kind of scrambled up in the pocket, hit him on a post route. And then I took the game ball, which was my first touchdown pass, gave the ball to my dad, sitting in the stands. So it's pretty cool. He was there with me in my toughest moment, and then he was there with me in one of my greatest moments.
Awesome.
Sweet. And I mean, throwing to a legend like that too for your first touchdown, that's crazy.
It's pretty awesome. I threw Chris Carter. I threw him my very first touchdown pass, and I threw Chris Carter and Tim Brown their 100th touchdown pass, which no quarterback has ever done that before. And I threw Randy Moss. I threw him his first touchdown pass. Threw Champ Bailey his first catch. I threw Warren Sapp his first touchdown catch. So, and I threw my own first touchdown catch. So, been a part of some neat plays along the way. Played with some great receivers.
I was just going to bring that up. I know you're one of 2 to ever do that, throw themselves a touchdown pass. That must have been pretty cool.
It was. I was the first one to do it.
Yep.
The play I was playing for Minnesota Vikings, playing against Carolina Panthers, and the play was called far left slot spear rip douse. And basically, we were on the 3-yard line. I was throwing a stick route to our tight end, and the ball got batted up. It came back to me. I knew we were still in field goal range. A lot of times you would bat the ball down so it doesn't get intercepted. We were still in field goal range. You cannot throw 2 double passes forward. And then I scrambled around, dove in the end zone, and it was a cool play. At the time, it was just a touchdown. But when after the game, they said, hey, it counted as a touchdown pass, touchdown catch, and it counted for 12 points in fantasy football, won an SP award for play of the year. So it's just a cool play to be a part of it. So those things are just hard to be close enough to the end zone to kind of be able to score after a deflection like that.
You play fantasy football?
I never have played fantasy ball, no.
So you knew that stat pretty good, so I assumed you did.
Yeah.
And what was it like playing with Warren Sapp and Alstott? 2 of my favorites.
Yeah, I played when I played in Minnesota and played in Washington. I played against Tampa Bay a bunch. And I had a lot of friends, guys at Florida State, Derek Brooks and Dexter Jackson, Work Dunn, who were teammates at Florida State. But then I played against all those guys so many times. Then, became a free agent. And then I just thought it'd be a great fit, a lot of great friends there. I had a lot of respect for their game. And I felt like we could win it. We could win it together.
Hey, while you were at Florida State, were you there? Actually, no. I was thinking you were there with the Rock, but no, the Rock. He went to Miami.
He was in Miami. We actually played against him, but he wasn't playing and I wasn't playing.
Okay.
But you could actually find a game. It was actually the 1987 game. It was where we went for 2 points at the end of the game, and we missed it to beat them. But if you can go back on that game, the TV copy, you actually see the Rock on the sidelines. And from Miami, he was the TV came around, he was screaming, "Hi, mom! Hi, mom!" Like he was, like so he became a guy sitting off the bench just saying, "Hi, mom! Happy to be on TV," to being a great movie star.
Yeah,
awesome.
I probably had my stats wrong. I thought that Sapp was forcing him out of a job.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened there.
Okay.
And
I think Sapp was after The Rock. He was after The Rock.
But like pushing him, Sapp was like pushing The Rock to do for his position. Sapp was better.
And bring us back to probably the biggest game in your life, the Super Bowl, and your win over the Raiders.
Yeah, it's a pretty incredible thing. I mean, there's only been 35 quarterbacks to have ever won it. There's been, I think, 12 or 13 guys that have won it multiple times. There's 46 presidents. There's 66 guys that have won the Masters, and there's like over 125 Kentucky Derby winners. So not many guys have ever won it. And coming out of high school in 1987, that was when the great Phil Simms for the New York Giants, he beat the great John Elway for the Denver Broncos. He went 22 for 25, and after the game, he said, "I'm going to Disney World." And it's just pretty cool. That was the first time that ever happened. That commercial came out. So 16 years later, I'd been, for all those years, I'd watched the Super Bowl on TV, been at some party and eating chips and dips and all those kind of things and watching it. And then you play in the NFL. But my whole life, I've never won my last game of the season. I never won a state championship, never won the national championship. And that's the dream. That's the goal. But I was paired up with a great team, had great coaches. I went through a long year of just ups and downs and battles and just the fight and just the what happened. To be able to play in that game is pretty incredible. I remember Celine Dion singing "God Bless America," the Dixie Chicks singing the national anthem, and Don Shula and Bob Greasy and Larry Zonka doing the coin flip. And all of a sudden, you're in this game. And so it's pretty incredible playing against the Oakland Raiders, playing against an old teammate of mine, Rich Gannon. And so just had a great respect for him and their team. And then we just kind of got hot that day when we won 51. And then after the game, confetti was falling on my face, and I was holding my son Max, who was 2 years old at the time. My wife Nikki was 7.5 months pregnant with their other son Jake, and I said, "I'm going to Disney World." It's pretty incredible, very surreal. Pinch myself every time it's get to talk about it.
Absolutely, and I remember that game vividly, and that defense you guys had. I mean, you guys had a good offense, but your guys' defense was one of the best ever.
No doubt about it. We've had three of those guys make Hall of Fame, and John Lynch and Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks, and hopefully two other guys will have a chance at it with Rondé Barber and Simeon Rice. But there were a lot of other great players on that defense. But offensively, we had some stars on our team with Alstott and Keyshawn Johnson and Keenan McCardell and Joe Jaravicious and Michael Pittman. I mean, the list goes on. So, but it's just a great team. And we got hot at the right time of the year. And it's just hard to win one of those things. It's hard to get a first down in the NFL. It's hard to score a touchdown. It's hard to win a game, and to be able to achieve the ultimate goal of winning all, it takes all hands on deck. So it's pretty incredible.
How do you was Gramatica the kicker on that team too? He used to be one of my favorite kickers. Yeah.
Martin Gramatica, who's the kicker. And, oh man, he was money. They called him Automatica Gramatica. You know what I mean? It was and he'd always celebrate with big clutch kicks.
Do you remember how you calmed the butterflies before the Super Bowl?
Honestly, I think I was excited to play, but I think, to be honest with you, I was pretty calm. I really was. I mean, by that, at that time of the year, you played in 4 preseason games and 16 regular game seasons and a couple playoff games. Like it's late January. Like you're almost tired. You're fatigued, like from the season, but you're just like, let's just play. It's just another game. It's just another game until the game ends. And when it ends, then you realize that, how enormous it really is of winning it and confetti falling on your face and having a parade back in your hometown and carrying the Lombardi trophy around. It's pretty amazing to be a part of that. But at the time, I don't think I was nervous. I think I was just excited to play and kind of live out my dream.
Did you have any pregame rituals or routines you would follow before your games?
I did. I mean, usually I'd always wake up in the morning and I'd read my playbook. I'd spend about an hour and a half going through my playbook. And then usually I'd read my playbook on the bus, and then I'd go through my playbook again. but that day I broke it. I didn't ride. I didn't read my playbook on the way on the bus. I said I was just going to enjoy the ride because I'd already put so much time into that playbook. And so what was really cool about the ride was we were in San Diego. There were 6 lanes on this part of the freeway, and 6 lanes over here. And so 12 lanes, there were no cars. It was just a police escort. It was just very surreal. And I remember I'd never seen myself play on TV. That was before DVD and DVRs and whatever they are. I mean, the only time I'd ever seen myself play was actually, whether it was on the news or, the coach's tape. So I remember calling a friend of mine, "Hey, can you record the game?" Sitting there riding on the bus. So didn't realize all the highlights and stuff would be made later and be able to watch it. But it's just an incredible moment to be a part of that ride, on that bus ride, and going to that stadium and to be in that kind of atmosphere and moment.
Yeah. And who started the nickname Check Down Charlie? And when did that
I'm
start?
not sure.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
How was the Super Bowl party after, like the parade?
Yeah. The party was really pretty cool. After the game, we go back to the hotel, and the game was it was a 3:00 game in San Diego. So the game was over at 6. And I remember after the game, did a bunch of interviews in the outside the stadium, and when I came back, actually the buses were leaving because I was out there so long. So it was my wife and I and my marketing manager, which was Brian Lammy. We had to hitchhike for a ride back home, and some people came by. We had, "Hey, can we get a ride back?" And then we ended up stopping at Circle K and bought a 12-pack of Coors Light. And then went back to the team hotel. There's a big party there. It was awesome because you really got to celebrate with your family, your friends. I had about 20 close friends and family that were there and celebrated probably at about 1:30 in the morning. And then I remember putting on my jersey because I wanted to wake up smelling like a champ the next day. So I slept in my jersey. I had an interview at 4:00 in the morning with Robin Roberts. And then had a 6:30 flight to Disney, and then went to Anaheim. I went and did the Jay Leno show that night, Monday night. Then caught the red eye back to Tampa on Monday night. Tuesday morning, did the parade in Tampa. Then caught another red eye back to Hawaii for the Pro Bowl. So it was a wild 3 days. I don't think I slept very much during that time.
Sweet, that's awesome. And then the 2-time Pro Bowls. I was going to say, what's it like playing in those games? And obviously winning the quarterback challenge against like Brady, Garcia, Hasselbeck, Brunell. That must have been pretty cool too.
Yeah, I think playing in the Pro Bowl is pretty cool, but I'll be honest with you, the Super Bowl is the ultimate because it's not a vote.
Of course.
It's not a vote. It's you earn it. You win it. The Pro Bowl, it's a vote. And so I felt like I should win it 5 times, only went twice. So I didn't get voted the other 3 times. But it's an honor to play with those other great players and going and playing in that game. And we played it in Hawaii, got my family and some close friends with us, so kind of got to celebrate the season that we had. And then the quarterback challenge was I was in the quarterback challenge 3 times, and I won it once. And it was pretty cool just to say they had like 4 different events and stuff like that. But to win it was pretty cool to kind of put that on your resume too.
Yeah, that was when now they've moved the Pro Bowl to the bye week, correct? Yeah.
They did, yeah. The Pro Bowl was after. It was always after the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
now,
so.
Yeah, we only had 1 week in between our Super Bowl and the NFC Championship game, but now there's 2 weeks, and then they play that Pro. I don't even know if they play a game anymore. I think it's more like 2-hand touch,
Yeah. Where's your favorite place to go in Hawaii?
You know what? The coolest thing we did, we actually took a helicopter ride. It was really cool. And I guess they talked about that's where they made Hawaii Five-0 and Jurassic Park, and then took the helicopter ride. I mean, you're seeing, I don't know how these volcanoes and 1,000-foot waterfalls, whatever it was. It was peaceful. It was just pretty cool,
Yeah, I'm heading there in a couple.
It's beautiful.
I'm heading there in a couple of weeks. That's why I was seeing if you had any suggestions.
Yeah, we were actually at a hotel, so I didn't really get to see anything besides. Iolani Hotel was where we were, but taking that helicopter ride, that was amazing.
Yeah, and I've seen the stadium. We drive into it in Honolulu on your way to Waikiki, so the stadium's right there. Like,
And back to Max and Jake. Must be pretty cool for you having them both on the same team and playing for Texas A&M this year. Are you going to be attending many of the games?
Yeah, I've coached Max and Jake, all the way through their, since they're 7, 8 years old, and all their pee wee teams, and middle school teams, and high school teams, and so it's really cool for them to play with each other once again. And we'll be at all the games at College Station. We'll go to all the games, my wife and I. So it's pretty awesome that Max wears number 14, Jake wears number 19. Jake's a tight end, so it'd be fun to watch them hook up.
Hopefully, there's some Johnson & Johnson touchdowns.
There will be.
That's awesome.
If you're having a dream dinner and you can invite 3 other famous people, who would you want to invite?
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive.
Yeah. My favorite basketball guy growing up, just athletes, was Larry Bird. Okay. So I'd say Larry Bird. I'd say Chris Mullin was my other second favorite basketball player. And then I'd probably say Joe Montana. Those are my 3 guys.
Sweet. So do you watch much NFL anymore these days? And are you still a Bucs fan?
Yeah, I watch all the NFL games. I don't keep up with all the fantasy football stats and those kind of things. But I love watching just good football, situational football. I don't really cheer for just one particular team. I just cheer for good football. I like to watch all quarterbacks play and see how the games kind of change. So, I watch all those games though.
I'm a Seahawks fan, so we're on the rebuild right now.
They are.
And I'm a Bengals fan. I've been a Bengals fan for 33 years. I've been waiting for this. So last year we finally made it, and then I think we're going to win one here in the next couple of years.
Yeah, that was a fun year for you guys.
And it's the first time he's got to be happy about football in years, and I'm going to go. This is the first time I'm having to feel shitty about next season.
Yeah.
And obviously during COVID, you became the TikTok superstar with all your trick shots. How do you like the TikTok?
I've enjoyed it. When I first got on TikTok, I actually started making a lot of videos of like workout videos and of my playing career and those kind of things. Then I started making all these trick shots on TikTok. And what I've tried to do with it, a little bit different with my trick shots, it's not just one shot. It's usually a sequence, a multiple of 3, 4, maybe 5 shots in a row with a basketball or football. I did some cool ones with corner pocket, second pole, throwing from the corner of the end zone, hit the second pole, hit it 5 times in a row. It was one of them crazy. It was like, it'll never happen again. One of those deals. So, but I've done a lot of those basketball, football videos. I've had fun with it and shared it with everybody. So hopefully they kind of laugh with it and have fun with it. And this is the hat that I always wear. This is the Big Bad Brad hat right here. And then got the Super Bowl logo on it and all that kind of stuff. But this thing, I'm getting ready to make I'm probably going to have to do one TikTok where I kind of glass case the hat. It's been through it's been sweaty. It's had a lot of great shots to it. So it may be time to retire and bring out a new hat.
That's awesome. And I watch all those videos. I love it. So keep up the content, man, because it's awesome. People love that shit.
And
I've had fun with it. Yeah. So hopefully I got some I'm trying to break a world record here. I'll be honest with you. So I'm trying to do it. Hopefully I get this one set out here in the next week or so. If I do, you'll kind of see it. It's actually shooting 2 basketballs per minute. So hopefully you get to see that here pretty soon.
Whew. Wow.
What was your favorite stadium you ever played in?
Probably the coolest one, honestly. I mean, I didn't like playing there in December, but actually, obviously going to Lambeau Field. I mean, just all the history to it. And the stadium's actually grown. When I first went there, the locker rooms were terrible. I mean, it was cement floors. They only had one commode. You didn't have any place to hang your clothes. Like, it was just like, it was worse than high school lockers. You know what I mean? Locker rooms. But then it's grown. It's beautiful now. The way they've done the stadium, they bolted in all the names and the history of players and stuff. It's really a cool place. And then after the games, I'd always kind of sneak out. Before we got, I'd always sneak out to some tailgate party and have a couple of brats and a couple of beers and those kind of things. So after games, but I love playing in Green Bay though.
Sweet. Hey, Brad, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time for us and coming on and chatting with us. We've been big fans of you for a long time, and I watched all Max's games last year with LSU, and I'll continue to watch his games this year with Texas A&M. So I appreciate you taking the time. We'd love to get him on sometime.
Yeah, that'd be great. I appreciate you reaching out. So look forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I would love to have you on down the road again one other time.
All right, sounds great. Just reach out to me.
Yeah, for
One
sure.
last thing. What we do is, this is all off air. This is all edited. What we do is we just add like a little drop to the start of the video. So could you basically just introduce yourself, just name, Super Bowl champ, and you're coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast. And if you want to put in your TikTok so we can bring more people there, that'd be sweet too.
Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Yeah, it's on my name if you need to read it.
Okay, I got it. You good?
Yep.
Yeah.